can't get their way, or I didn't do something that I said I was going to do in regards to us going somewhere or doing something. So be specific with us with what you're talking about.
I'm gonna be specific. I'm saying the reason why I'm gonna get to that part last, but so I'm being specific. Okay, so my son, he hit him before it caught a CFSA case for child abuse. He had to take anger management classes. He got charged for it because he dropped him off. Then I took him to the hospital, and when I took him to the hospital, I didn't go to the hospital saying, "Oh, my son father busted him out." I said, I was going to say he fell on the fucking playground and hit his fucking
Okay, so
lip,
back up. All right, so back up. Your child's father,
he punched my son in the mouth and split his lip where he had to get stitches.
Okay, cool.
But he dropped him off to his grandparents' house. So when I picked him up, his lip was messed up.
Okay, pause.
So I took him to the hospital.
Okay, pause. So that is an example of physical safety, right? So if you pick up your son and his lip is split, and it's split based on his father's choice on how he was disciplining him, but you see that it physically harmed the child, you take your child to the hospital, you go over specifically what happened. Obviously, you have a conversation with your baby daddy, and whatever consequences that he faces through what the law says he shouldn't have been doing based on the safety of the child, that is on him.
Right.
What is
so
that? That's still so.
You got that right.
So with that being said,
I just want to get this one little thing in. You just said that, right? So I'm just trying to make sure because I'm trying to figure out. In that moment, my son was probably 9. Since then, it's been a strain on the relationship that it's been. I don't know. Maybe
a strain on what? Pause. So let me go back.
It's been like from then he just maybe that's what distanced the relationship from him and my son too.
Of course.
I don't know.
Italy, of course it did. Of course it did, honey. Do you understand? This is what I'm telling you. Your baby daddy is allowed to be whatever type of father he wants. Whatever your son and him got into as boy to man, he popped his ass in the mouth. When he brought him back, he was physically harmed. As a mother, you took him to the hospital. The authorities got involved. Whatever fucking consequences that your baby daddy faced from what he did is on him as a man. That still don't got shit to do with you controlling or deciding their relationship. Obviously, common sense. If the authorities got involved and he had to go through, the little parenting plan to be able to get back around his child and whatever probation or whatever, that's on him. It still doesn't require you to make any new rules on your end as a mother because he's facing his legal consequences that will take him through the proper channels. And if I'm the child that possibly acted up with his dad and got popped in the mouth and that caused my dad to go to jail and some friction with my dad and my mom, and I got some, emotional damage to me and physical damage based on me feeling like my daddy shouldn't hit me like that, of course our relationship is going to be strained. Guess who it's on to fix that relationship?
It's on them.
Okay, so mind your motherfucking business. Respectfully.
Right, so I've been doing that. So now it's just so now it's to the point now. Okay, rewind. That was probably like 9 years ago. My son 13 on that. That probably was like 5 or 6 years ago. So we back now to he 13. He in this position where he in this this facility where he's been doing things, and now I'm trying to figure out. It's to the point where he done been to visit them 3 times. I went to maybe 1 visit with them, but that's after the first visit. I allowed him to go because, again, I can't say, oh, you can't come visit your son. I don't have the right to do that.
But why would that even be? This is what I'm saying. Why would that even be considered?
Because it's been every visit has been a hard visit for my son. It's been hard for both of them because I can't just, it could have been a hard visit for the both of them.
Okay, but that's Italy. Again, that's their...
So do I allow that to keep going on?
Italy. This is what I'm saying, and I'm going to say it again. You are not in control. And this is what's wrong with us as women. And I love that this is coming up. So I love that Italy is sharing this. You're not in fucking control of nobody seeing a child. You're not a fucking judge. You're not no police officer. You don't have the authority to do that. And I get that we've been programmed in the black community as women to feel like whenever I think things are getting too uncomfortable, it's going to be my job to cut your other half off like they weren't a part of making you. Bitch, get a grip. It ain't your job. Hold on. But listen to what I'm saying. It ain't your motherfucking job to even consider Xing out that line. As your son gets older, if his father is not his cup of tea, they will organically create a separation amongst themselves. Mind your motherfucking business respectfully. Of course, it's going to be uncomfortable. Of course, as a father, he's being faced with his failures in regards to his son being locked up or being in whatever program. Of course, as a son, his ass probably was being hard-headed at times, and some of the shit his daddy probably popped his ass in the mouth for is part of the reason why he locked the fuck up in that program. Let them niggas organically get their bond. Mind your motherfucking business. Do your visits. Worry about if your visits with your son are going good. If the ones with his daddy ain't going good, that's on him and his motherfucking daddy. If his daddy and him have too many uncomfortable visits to the point where they stop seeing each other or the daddy stop going up there, let that be because of them and nothing to do with you as the mother.
Right, so
do you understand what I'm saying?
Point, right? Yeah, it's at that point, but I be like trying to, like, I don't want no problems with the man, though. If I could make it work, I'm like the type of person.
But I don't see
want that, though.
Okay, Italy, I'm not saying you want it, babe. I haven't heard a problem yet that pertains to you. You've told us your son and his father's problems, which outside of you just being an emotional support or a listening ear to your son when he wants to vent about his father and you giving him whatever mom advice you want to give him, I don't see where you actually have a problem. I see where your son and his father have a problem. I don't see where you have a problem, babe. I don't.
So for me and him, the conflict, it comes, I don't know, maybe it's drawn out from me wanting him to have the relationship with my son. So I'm trying to figure, I'll be like, I guess a middleman, like I'm the middleman, like,
yeah, but that's why.
Telling my son, fuck him, none of that bad shit. I'll be like,
but you listen, babe. If you,
so I just need to shut the fuck up and get out of it.
Mind your motherfucking business, respectfully. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna let you talk, Frank. I'm telling you this, Italy, because however that man and his son relationship turn out, it needs to turn out like that because of those two. Get out of this control complex space you in. I'm telling you this as a mother. It is a beautiful thing to know that my relationship with my child is solely about me and my child. And the relationships that they have with other people is about them and that other person, be it their dad, their grandmother, their aunt. My children have their own organic perspective of people in our family, and they have their own resourceful space with that adult that has nothing to do with me. So if they fall out with their grandma or they beefing with their daddy and they don't want to go with him or they whatever, guess what? I get to sit back and feel peaceful that it don't got shit to do with me. Half the stuff, I don't allow them to come and gossip to me about it. I make them or I push them to call the other person. If you're looking for my opinion, and I make it clear to them, this will be my opinion. It's not law. I'm your mama, but only thing that's law are the things that are agreed upon between me and you as mother and child. But anything else, if you want to come to me and, hey, Ma, this happened with dad and this was going on and what you think about this, I can give you my opinion. But my opinion, my view, my perspective don't hold no motherfucking weight between what you doing with you and your daddy. I'm not your daddy. I'm not you. I don't have to experience that. I don't have to live that. And the consequences of however it turn out, it does not affect me the way it affects you. Mind your business respectfully. You don't have a problem. Your baby daddy and your son have a problem. But then again,
I might do got a problem. Then I should just focus on what I got going on. For me and him. I mean,
for you and your son.
Feel like I have a problem, right?
But if you, but listen to what I'm saying. You don't. What you've said to us so far, none of that is your problem. It's your son and his dad's problem. Now, I'm sure there are things that you and your son have friction on or uncomfortable conversations. Those are things that, like on a one-on-one, you and I can discuss for you to become better as a parent, right? On your end. But the stuff with your baby daddy, that's problems with him and your son. That's not no co-parenting problems. You just sticking your nose in business that got to do with boys and men that don't got nothing to do with you. And I want to know, not just from her.
And I know that, though.
Right.
I just need to hear it, though.
Yeah, and I respect that.
I need to hear that.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. It ain't too many women in this world that could sit here and have this conversation with me that I'm having with you. They'd have been wanting to fight me or been wanting to defend themselves or been wanting to go into their single mama-minded view. They probably would have hopped out the Zoom.
I'm just trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong, but I got to say, stay out of it. I need to focus on what I need to do for me and my son.
But I want to give you your, Italy, I want to give you your flowers Only a growth-minded woman could sit here and talk to me about this shit and take it. On a daily basis, I make hoes cry. I make bitches go run to their mama and gossip and wish that I fall off the fucking internet forever. I make bitches pray to God that my page disappear. I make hoes go to fucking the Babaloos and pray that they put a spell on me and I lose all the knowledge I got. That's what, these the kind of feathers I ruffle and poor-minded ass bitches. You not one of them, woman, because you able to have this conversation with me. So I want to know, to the other women in the room, do y'all understand what I'm explaining to her?
Yeah. Yeah.
Frank, you had something you wanted to add, and I know I had kept going.
Yeah, I wanted to add to Italy. It's cool how you feel and what you think, because I was the same way. It kind of works the same way because I'm a single father, and just what you explaining to her, I explained the same shit. And just how you feel, I felt the same fucking way, and that comes on just the knowing. When my son talking to his mom, I don't like the way she fucking talk to him. Mm-hmm. I don't like the things that she say.
And Frank be wanting to get involved.
She don't come. She don't pick him up.
He be wanting to get involved.
And I be want to cuss that bitch. I was like, man, fuck her. I'm telling you, that thing used to set me off about my child. So when I did the same thing you doing right now. Talking, telling my perspective, how I feel. I know what that motherfucker doing. She's supposed to come pick him up. She don't do that. Like all that. And she told the same shit she told you.
Same thing.
I stepped back and how long it's been, love? About 8 months?
Yep.
Maybe longer than that.
And I love that Frank is...
stuff that I know, the same stuff I know about my baby mama, now my son is starting to know the same thing that I'm trying to prevent from happening. It's happening to him, and I ain't got shit to do with it. Not a damn thing. And now my son telling me, like, yeah, my mama is, I've been calling her for 2 weeks, and it's a pattern. This coming from my son. I said, what?
Yeah.
Okay. And love was getting on my fucking nerves about that shit. I was like, man, fuck. I don't want to fucking do it. But you know what? She told me that's what I got to do. I stopped doing this shit with an attitude. But now I'm getting the benefits of that. It's coming back to me, but now I'm making him go talk to his mom about it.
Yes, he's staying out of it. Italy, Frank, I told Frank the same thing I'm telling you. Mind your motherfucking business. Leave that lady alone. The lady could be whatever kind of mama she want to be. If she only want to come around once a week, if she only talk to him once a month, you stay out of it so you're not the reason for their friction or however their mom-son relationship turns out. Mind your... No, it's not. It's not. I'm finna tell you. It's Italy.
He could call me and be like, we could communicate. That's the fucked up. Like, we could communicate on some things. Like, he could call me up, hey, what, we could have conversations.
Baby, listen, I want you to listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. I want you to understand, right? We didn't have babies out of marriages where we were aligned.
Yeah, no, this the same nigga that told me when I was pregnant, he didn't want a baby. So when you said, I'm like, that's my relationship. I get this shit.
Okay, but Italy, what I'm saying, listen what I'm saying, babe. Listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. There are the situations where children were born from marriages, legal commitments where both parties under the law signed a document and said, we are becoming one, right? And those parents became one with the idea that their life was going to head in the same direction. The children that we in here talking about, a good majority of them came from fucking on somebody. She's keeping it real, right? The person we fucking on, over time, we realized, right, similar to like Italy just said, when you peed on the stick and you realized you was pregnant, or you went to the doctor and you realized you was pregnant, me and this person don't even have the same view about wanting to have the child, right? So when you birth a baby with someone that y'all don't even have the same views about having the child, right? All this talking and shit that females be wanting to do, what the fuck are you talking about? The man don't discipline the way that you discipline. He didn't want the child in the ways that you wanted the child. He don't view the relationship and the situation the way that you view it. So what is all this talk going to be about? My nigga, be the kind of mama you want to be. Allow him to be the kind of father that he wants to be, and coach and push and mold your son to be the type of person that can flow through the experience without losing himself. The experience of you and the experience of what type of man his father is, because bitch, you picked him. And he picked you.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
So all this, when it is immature and childlike when you see baby mamas do the whole, we need to just talk about this. Why are you trying to pretend as though a talk is going to be productive with someone that you have no aligned views? What you're trying to do is be seen. What you're trying to do is get attention. What you're trying to do is control the other person's perspective, views, and behavior with quote unquote your child. And this is the same thing I put into perspective for Frank. It just so happens men usually catch on to logic quicker than women. It took a half a conversation for Frank to realize everything she's saying is going to be better for my son, for me, and my baby mama. Frank had a lot of the views that y'all have in regards to the woman not moving the correct way. And he wasn't wrong in regards to what he and I believe a parent or a positive mother role model should look like. But do me or Frank or any of y'all have control over what the fuck this woman do or don't do with her son? No, we don't. So it's a waste of motherfucking time. Mind your business. Yeah. Be the best parent that you could be. Make sure that your child has a solid experience with both parents so they can grow up to be well-rounded. Not perfect, right? But well-rounded. Yeah, not perfect, but not purposely made into a fucking statistic.
Yeah, I feel that because we both got different views. Like he will have his own viewpoint on the environment that I got my son in. And then I'm like, you got your own belief, but just because my shit is building projects and your shit is a housing project.
But listen, it ain't. But Italy, it's no but.
It's like
it ain't Italy. Italy is no but. It's just what you said. You got your own view. I got my own view. Leave it at that. What you were about to go into was going to be a comparison and almost a defense. A defense of how you living versus how he living versus how he feel versus how you feel. When talking about co-parenting, with all due respect, we don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck if your lifestyle is any better than your baby daddy lifestyle. Your child needs both of y'all. So when he say stuff
like that, I just need to block that out. Nah, we ain't talking about that.
It's not.
That ain't what we discussing.
It's not that
Let's discuss Elijah and Elijah only.
But it's not that we're blocking it out. It doesn't have to do with what is necessary to raise Elijah. I don't have to say this with an attitude. I don't have to feel, some type of way about it. If I'm co-parenting with you, whether you male or female, baby daddy or baby mama, if you start to bring up things that I know we have differences of perspective and perception that we're allowed to have, and these things don't have anything to do with what I'm going to do after this conversation with my son or what you're going to do, we don't have to have that conversation. Half the time with these co-parenting situations, we're talking about stuff that we don't need to talk about. So now let's take a step back. Somebody brought up different views in parenting. Do we all understand now that that is normal?
Yes.
Do we all understand now that that is not a problem? It's actually something that if you understand it's an experience and that it allows you to learn, it's something that you welcome. I welcome my son or my daughter getting my viewpoint, but also getting their father's viewpoint. It's going to help them be able to look about the world and realize things aren't done one way. Do y'all see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Does anybody have any questions on the thought that was brought up about difference of views on parenting being some giant problem in regards to co-parenting?
Yeah.
If you got a question, ask me.
Can you reword what you just said?
So it was brought up by one of you guys when I asked, what do you see as your biggest issue with co-parenting? It was brought up different views on parenting, right? Common sense is, of course, we're going to have different views on parenting. Because guess what? Where do you get your views on parenting? You get it from your upbringing, your programmed beliefs, from your early childhood experiences, and what you were raised to believe, your generational curses, the stuff that you've experienced. So unless you fucked and made a baby with your brother that had the exact childhood experiences you had, of course we're going to have different views on parenting. This is actually normal. And of course, when it comes to parenting views, similar to money, emotions come about when we talk about this kind of stuff. So knowing that I could get emotional the same way the other person could get emotional, right? It's an experience. It's not anything that we have to beef or control each other over or manipulate the situation to go in one direction or the other. Does that answer your question, Ophelia?
Yes, it did. Thank you, love.
Does anybody else have any questions on understanding that different views on parenting is normal? So, for example, I'm sure if the person that spoke up earlier, if she had the same experience with her son that the father did, she probably wouldn't have punched him in the mouth because her view on discipline and parenting may be different than his. And that's okay.
Hey, love. Speak on co-parenting with a stepfather or a boyfriend that you taking serious.
We getting up because somebody mentioned an outside opinion, right? So does anybody have any other questions on the different views on parenting? It is normal. And yes, it will be uncomfortable sometimes to hear that your baby daddy wants your kids to go to this kind of school and you want them to go to this one. Or you feel like they shouldn't be doing this and he feels like they shouldn't be doing that, right? It's going to be uncomfortable. Compromise is necessary, and allowing your child to experience stuff that the man wants them to do as well as things that you want them to do is a well-rounded upbringing. It's about balance. Anybody got any questions on understanding that? Now, there will be some conflict resolution skills that are needed, right? And there will be some healthy communication skills that will be needed with the consideration of each other's personality in order to navigate these different views on parenting. Is there anybody that has one particular example of differences in views on parenting that they feel like they cannot see a solution to?
Me.
Go ahead, Christine.
I don't talk to my boy's dad that much, but I'm trying to figure out how to word it. My kids are 14 and 11. So there's certain things where, okay, let's just say half on sports. My kids want to do sports, and it's like, you don't pay child support, any of that. Mm-hmm. He doesn't feel like he needs to go half on sports because he feels like I am conditioning them to believe that this is what they need. Mm-hmm. So he feels like because it's too much of my influence on it, that he doesn't want to go in on it. But it's not my influence. It's actually their decisions and their choices. And so when they ask, he tells them no.
Okay.
So when I ask, he's going to say, so I don't know where to go.
Okay. You don't have, so I'm going to tell you this, Christine, you don't have a choice. You can't make that man pay for some shit that he don't feel like is a necessity to pay for. But I will say this, because I understand what you're saying and I believe you. In his experience with his sons, for whatever reason, he has himself believing that they don't actually want to play these sports outside of you influencing them to, right? And he's allowed to feel like that. And guess what? You're not there during his experiences and his conversations with his sons. So you can't even tell us that it's not an accurate assessment. You can only say what you feel based on what you know to be true, right? So if you want them to play sports and you feel like sports are important, get on your fucking grind and create some extra income, which I'm sure you're already doing, and pay for it your fucking self and leave that man alone about paying for some shit that he told your ass he don't want to pay for. The same way. And I'm not saying that you're bothering him or trying to make him pay for it.
Oh, no, right. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I'm going off of what you just, the scenario you put out there. And I would tell him the same thing if I was talking to him and it was something he was saying that you won't pay for. I get that you feel like she should. I don't disagree from you and what you explained, that that's your perspective, but you don't get to tell Christine what the fuck she got to put her money in on or not. You ain't her daddy. You're not her motherfucking boss. As a mother, she can pay for what the fuck she want and not pay for what she don't want. We have to get out of these beliefs of control. And I want y'all to understand, we get them from our upbringing, because a lot of us have watched our mamas, our aunties, our granddaddies, our uncles, our dads do controlling ass shit, where they feel like they can make somebody be the sort of parent they want. I'm telling y'all, I'm going to say this again. There is peace in being able to parent and know I have no responsibility in how or why or what happens in my child's relationship with their other parent as we co-parent. There is I wake up with a lightness knowing my children's relationship with their other parent is based organically on what those create, not me. I'm on my own motherfucking business.
So I haven't only, asked once. So am I doing it correctly by allowing my 14-year-old, like, if you want to play basketball,
if he tell you he want
if
he tell you he want to pay for it, and don't send them to ask their dad when you already know their dad's you.
That's where I was getting at. I was going to ask you, would it be wrong if I teach? Okay.
Yeah, because here's the thing. What I'm saying is, from what I was told as y'all mama, your dad is not going to pay for this, but I'm willing to pay for it. It's not that big of a deal, son. If you want to play, we'll make sure you play. And your dad will come to games and support you once you play. He got his own view, and he's allowed to have that. Children need to see you as the mother, us as women, being mature about a man putting his foot down about stuff he do and don't want to do. Christine, why do those boys need to see you respecting their father saying no to certain stuff that you disagree with? Why do they need to see that? Somebody
so they don't become punks to other women.
There you go. If I'm raising boys, I need my boys to see even me conform to a man getting his way with stuff, so that when these boys grow up, they can understand women do not always give the final say in things. And see, we don't realize as single mothers, this is what we're teaching our kids when they only see everything done mama way. And that's why half of these niggas that's raised by just women get out here and they operate like hoes with females.
Yeah, I was making sure I was going the right way because, you know, sometimes people in our circle, they don't have the knowledge that you have. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I think I'm doing it right, but I'll ask my mentor first before I listen to y'all answers, because I have peace over here. He don't bother me. I don't bother him. I ask him once, he say no. It's no. My boys is cool with the no, and we move on and we do what we do. So I just want to make sure, like, just in case anybody in the book club too had the same issue, mm-hmm. I want to make.
Listen, your kid, boys and girls, need to see this. I know this so well that even in my experiences with co-parenting, there are times like, you know, if my daughter's dad wants to get her hair done a certain way, I might not like the hairstyle, and I will vocally say this: I don't like that. You gonna get your hair done like that? I don't like it. But if that's what he said he's getting, that's what you got to get, child. Get what he wants you to get. I want her to see me lay down or compromise to her father making a choice. She does not need to see women bossing situations all the time. Otherwise, she gonna grow up and be masculine as fuck, trying to boss situations all the time and ain't gonna be able to get a man. She not gonna have companionship, because grown men that are providers, men, the type of men that we want, that will lead and things like that, bro, you have to allow them to make decisions, and sometimes it will be stuff that you don't want. You have to let your kids see you compromise just as much as they see you make decisions. And you have to let them see you mind your motherfucking business. Everything don't got to be brought to your fucking mammy. That's why a lot of us date men, boys, that go back and tell their mama shit. Or hoes. Some of y'all niggas got babies with bitches that when she get mad at you, she go tell her mama on you and her mama calling your phone. Bitch, your mama don't run shit over here. Just because you was programmed to believe your mama get to tell everybody in the family what to do, you gonna get your mama black ass cussed the fuck out. Or left on fucking red or blocked. Grown folk do not conform to other people, mammies. Now, I will respect your mother if you keep the appropriate boundaries, right? Based on us being grown. But bitch, I been at my mama's house. Your mama don't run shit over here. Just like my mama don't. You want to call your mama and be on the titty at 35 or 40? Do that. That ain't going to go on over here. But there are a lot of adults, meaning they're adults of age, but they don't understand this concept. So they'll call their mammy on you. Then when you about to slap the shit out of their mama, now they feel like you doing something wrong. You should have told your mama to stay in the mama's place. This don't got shit to do with her. But when you was younger, you never saw your mama stay in a mama's place. That's why you believe you need to call her for things or matters that don't have shit. Don't be that mother where your child calling you for shit, where this is when the things I taught you are supposed to kick in. Conflict resolve, discernment on what choices to make, what to walk away from, what not to walk away from. This is what turned boys into men and girls into women.
So, Dorsey, is that the same concept as, for example, the little boys that we be having issues with out here? They're taught that I don't care if your brother is wrong. You step in and you fight. I don't teach my kids that because I feel like it's not teaching them proper, problem solving skills. If you out there starting shit, I don't feel like it's right for your brothers to jump in a one-on-one issue. I don't know. I just don't think that's right. But what's your view on that?
It's just lessons of safety. like when you talk to grown men, because this is a thing, you're raising black boys, right?
Yeah.
The experience that black men have in the world is not the same of any other race of men, nor is it anything that even a black woman has the capacity to relate to the experience without being them. So when I say this, what I mean is anger looks different on black men than it does on black women or any other race of men or women. The obstacles because of that are faced, right, in this world, boys have to be taught not only to stick together, but to stick together with safety and smart choice being at the forefront of the decision making. So if you're asking my personal opinion, if I'm raising sons, I'm never going to teach them to abandon one another during conflict. But what I am going to teach them is to hold each other accountable so that niggas outside of y'all brotherly bond don't have to. Right? So the idea is I'm not going to leave my brother to take a fade from some niggas by himself, but I will be that voice to teach him how to walk the fuck away or stand his ground enough to get out of the situation before we get locked the fuck up, because they lock black men up easily than any other race of men or gender in this fucking world.
Big facts.
And this is why black boys need that experience from men. And you don't have to like these men in regards to wanting to be in a relationship with them. It don't have to be somebody you want to be with. You could be mad at your baby daddy lifestyle, but the experience that your baby daddy can offer him about the world viewing you as a black man could only come from him or a fellow black man. It cannot come from a bitch or a grandmother or a big mama. Hoes don't know the things that men face in the world, especially black men.
That can ruin the relationships of the brothers too. As they get older, like they're gonna be around, they're gonna be out in the world. So if you teach your boys that there's a lot of other